gosh, that's something else. It's time to get flippin' thrashed. XShot is thrashing the competition. You give your enemies a thrashing with this one. Editing Walcom, insert a lame quip here. This is the XShot Pro Series Motorized Thrasher, a short dart mag and grip full auto pistol with a rechargeable battery, which while they were the ones who sent this to me early for a video, although by the time I'm recording this, just a couple of days after I got it, people are already finding this on store shelves at Walmart, so maybe check yours nearby. They didn't really send me a release date or a price, but I do know it's coming out in June, and I do know it's probably gonna run you about $40 US for this entire kit. Up to 120-foot ranges.
6 darts a second, full auto.
Who is Otto, and why is he always full? Honestly, the box is pretty barren on this one. It says adjustable tactical sights, quick release or your mag release, full-length pro dart clip, rechargeable battery, and it shows the spin shot, which I believe is known as the brake barrel now? Yeah, I'm not hallucinating. It's known as the brake barrel now. Fury X long shot, the OG, and then the long shot 2.0, and the motorized piston pump AEB. And yes, I do have that long shot 2.0, and we'll be taking a look at that one next. So make sure you get subscribed, hit like, and maybe even hype the video if you even know what that means. You do it on mobile. It really helps. Now let's talk about the obvious. This is XShot's answer to the Dart Zone Pro Venom Pro. They are very similar blasters, and if you're interested in a comparison video directly between them, I will do so after I'm done with the Longshot 2.0. But it is kind of crazy to me that now we have options for a mag and grip full auto flywheel Nerf blaster. The future's a pretty crazy place. I'm gonna be pretty careful opening this one up, because if this video gets, let's say, 50,000 views in 7 days, I'm gonna give this one away to some lucky viewer, but only those here in the US. You know, battery and shipping and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of crazy. By the way, headshot! Money shot. We've got 30 XShot short darts here, 2 15-round magazines, instructions, the blaster itself, and in this little corner of the box, we do have our charger. First things up, these are new magazine types for XShot. However, these are not new magazine geometries. They are in fact entirely identical to the Worker Nightingale geometry. It has both a notch in the back for some magazine releases and also the notch on the side, which means things like the Venom Pro magazines work perfectly fine inside your Thrasher. Starting off with the blaster, we've got, well, nothing really up here, just a muzzle where your darts come out of. There's no kind of attachments or anything like that that could work on this, at least not out of the box. But just below that muzzle, we do have a threaded screw plastic thing here that if you unthread, is a door that pops off the front of your blaster and reveals your battery tray. This has your battery stored inside of it. This is a rechargeable battery. This is a rechargeable lithium-ion battery with a capacity of 800 milliamp hours at 7.4 volts. And the connector is a weird one. It's a standard thing, but it's not an XT30 or XT60 or anything like that. So if you want to use this thing with lipos, that's gonna be your first hurdle. You're gonna have to put a different connector in, maybe a different connector on your battery, or use different batteries. For the initial testing, we'll just use whatever charge is already on the battery. On top of the blaster, we have a long Picatinny rail with our front post thing already there. It's adjustable. It's really not. It does kind of work, but since the sights are the same color as the front and rear, it really doesn't work. You can get a very rudimentary sight picture. Let's be frank. This is a sidearm. It's a full auto flywheeler with no muzzle stabilization. It's not going to be pinpoint accurate or anything like that. It's really meant to be like a room clearer or something that you use in a panic. Below that, we've got another short Picatinny rail. And yes, this thing does look like the KAP-40 from Black Ops 2. Behind that, we've got our motor bumps. This does make the blaster kind of chunky at the thickest section, but it's really not that bad at all. This also means that your flywheels are horizontal, so there's very limited height over bore with this one, which if it was accurate, that would be really cool. Below that motor bump, we do have our trigger, and this is a really interesting setup, and probably the claim to fame for this blaster is that the trigger is a two-thing. It's kind of like what you'd expect. Like you have a rev trigger, right? Like all flywheels have like a rev trigger, or they rev when you pull the trigger. Some people don't like that. They want to be able to control their revs at every single point, and the Thrasher here gives you the best of both worlds. If I were to flip this unit on, you can not only just use the bottom trigger to rev your blaster and then fire it, pretty cool, but you can also just pull the main trigger to also do both. Keep in mind with something like the Venom Pro, it had this thing back there, and that's how you actually revved the blaster. And some people even modify this to have a traditional rev trigger. Just behind those triggers, we do have our magazine release. This is, as far as I know, only works in one direction, although it might be able to be flipped because it looks kind of omnidirectional. But on the left-hand side of the blaster, you hit that with your thumb, it freely drops your magazine. If you're using it right-handed, you would just use one of your fingers, just like so. Works perfectly fine, freely drops mags, which is a good thing, so you can do some really quick reloads if you're into that. Behind that, on the left-hand side of the blaster, we do have the on-off cutoff switch, so if that's back, it doesn't do anything. Put it forward, it does the stuff. These are 15-round magazines, which are pretty freaking good, and it does come with 2 of them, so you do get 1 dedicated reload. To use this thing, it's really simple. You can either choose to rev the blaster first, or just pull the trigger all the way, and you get full auto fire. Or if you really want to, that rate of fire is at the perfect Goldilocks point, and the way the pusher actually snaps into place and everything like that makes it really easy to single shot off with this thing. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's not select fire, but it's incredibly easy to use if you want to do single shots. And let's do that one more time, but with full auto. A pretty comfortable rate of fire. You don't really want to drill the same person like 8 times in a row in a quarter of a second, so that's perfectly fine to track any kind of moving target or for just spray and pray to try to hit any number of targets in front of you. So far, an extremely capable and potent little sidearm, but let's get that battery charged up and see what it can really do. Fully charged Thrasher chronograph test with the included darts. Gonna have to yell over the flywheels for this one. 127, 128, 125, 124, 126, 123, 124, duplicate 124, 125. Man, that thing is frighteningly consistent. Woo! Accuracy testing the Thrasher. This is a flywheeler. They're not really known to be all that accurate, especially with absolutely no muzzle stabilization, but let's see what happens. Well, the target definitely delayed itself on that one, but yeah, not great. Let's try again. Time to thrash this target. Pretty consistent with its low numbers. All right, for this one, I'm actually going to use an optic. Not that this is how you would use the blaster normally anyway, but I doubt it's gonna make much of a difference. Yeah, that didn't matter at all. Those darts just kind of cone out. So yeah, it's a sidearm. It'll reach out and touch someone. It's just not gonna be pinpoint accurate, and that's perfectly fine. It's not meant to do that. Range testing on single shots. Lowest shot was 66 feet, and most of the shots landed around 70, with the highest shot being 83 feet. Well, we've already seen what it does on the outside, so let's see what it does on the inside, even though that won't be particularly impressive. It is just a flywheel blaster after all. And we're in. For those of you that like to paint your blasters, unfortunately with the Thrasher, it's really just one piece for the entire body of the blaster. So not a whole heck of a lot going on with this thing. It is a flywheel blaster. There's not a whole out of the box that we can do to modify this thing. It will require probably aftermarket components and a 3D printer to get anything more out of this, but it's a sidearm and it does what it's supposed to do, so I wouldn't worry too much about increasing the power. But we've got a full auto mechanism. There is a motor in there that's going to spin this sprocket. It's going to pull this back and then release it. That's going to pound your dart in between your flywheels, which are going to be spinning diametrically, so they're spinning opposite ways. A dart's gonna get pushed between those wheels and it's gonna get launched out of the barrel. There could possibly be a really easy way to add a B card to this blaster because the whole front of the flywheel cage is a separate piece. In fact, the flywheel cage is one of the most simplest I have seen since Buzzbee. It's Really just a piece of plastic holds two motors together. What's really weird with this one is the flywheels, which instead of using a micro switch, they really just made their own open contacts that the rev trigger presses against. And when you pull the main trigger, it just also squeezes down the rev trigger. That's what you're gonna get with your Thrasher out of the box. And don't really wanna try these with any kind of lipo setup or anything anymore, because I did that with the Dart Zone Boxer Pro, and a lot of people tried it and broke theirs when mine worked perfectly. So I don't want people to think it works because mine worked and then break their blasters. Not unless XShot wants to tell me, hey, put a 3S in your Thrasher Pro and it will really scream. Well, I mean, obviously we have two Thrashers, so obviously we have to dual wield. That goes a lot faster than you think it would. That wasn't even full auto.
I gotta tell you, this is pretty terrific. Yeah.
It is an extremely safe opinion to state that if you already have Dart Zone Pro Venom Pros, you probably don't even need to look at the XShot Thrasher. That being said, the Thrasher will be more widely distributed. I know I've seen XShot Pro blasters at grocery stores in small oceanside towns. The price is better at $40 versus the $50 that the Venom started off with, and I think it's actually a little bit more expensive online. And of course, the Thrasher looks so much better. Took down all three targets with just one mag. I mean, that's not half bad. But it is essentially a side grade to the Venom. This blaster doesn't really do a whole lot more than the Venom. Ergonomics are better, looks are better, handling and stuff I think is a lot better. It's a little bit slower fire rate. It might be a slight bit performance decrease, but it's a sidearm. Got 4 targets that time. For a basically like mid-range sidearm, I mean, you can get things a little bit cheaper and you can obviously spend a lot more money, but spending that more money, is it actually worth it? I already planned to do a video directly comparing the Thrasher to the Venom Pro. Now I'm wondering if I should do one against a brushless blaster too, just to show you what the actual differences are, because the Thrasher's like 80% of the way there. And of course, there's always something to complain about. There's not enough power in it. Well, it's a sidearm. It's not meant to be something that reaches out and snipes somebody, even though the range is particularly good for what it is. And of course, it doesn't fire fast enough. But I would make the argument that it has the perfect rate of fire. That 6 to 8 darts per second is optimal, because you don't want to hit the same person 12 times in a quarter of a second. Gosh, that's something else. At the end of the day, I'm going to give the XShot Pro Series Thrasher a 5 out of 5, because really, there's nothing it doesn't do that it's set out to do. You could always ask for more, but when it comes in at a budget price with everything you could possibly need, 2 magazines, enough darts to load both of them, rechargeable battery, the cable for recharging that battery, and a very slim, simple construction with full auto and everything, yet it's still easy to fire off single shots. Yeah, what more could you want? If you ask for more, you're just being greedy. I really don't have any notes for the Thrasher. I think what it wanted to do, it comes out and does absolutely flawlessly at a price point that pretty much can't be beat. I mean, the Venom Pro couldn't be beat, and it got beaten. So how do we go even less from here? It's a budget-capable sidearm that looks astonishingly good. XShot has by far the best design language when it comes to foam dart blasters. Yeah, this thing has some fans already. People are already finding them on store shelves, so you're gonna see them sooner or later, but the official release date is June 13th. Take that with a grain of salt. Sometimes retailers are really slow to stock stuff. All right, this one's going back in the box, so if this video hits 50,000 views 7 days after I upload it, I will be giving this one away. I'll sign it, include stickers and all that kind of stuff, so I'll make a post detailing how you can win this if we hit that point, but go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and share and hype and all that kind of stuff if you want one of these.